I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Okay, I'm going to call this one No Money, More Problems. And happy Saturday. As you guys know, on the Saturday blog, I've given you guys lots of tools, and I've been advocating on this site for the last 12 years about buying your principal residence sooner rather than later. Getting your TFSA and your RRSP maxed out. And the best way to do that when you're first starting out is just index invest. Buy the S&P 500, buy the VIG, the Triple Q. Continuously keep putting into it every month, pay yourself first, all that good stuff. Take the quarterly dividends you get and just keep reinvesting it and you're off. But we've got to go full circle. I was talking to one of my friends in New York a little while ago, and I see these articles come up in the Financial Post and in the Wall Street Journal, but in Canada here especially, these stats are really scary, that only about half of Canadians even have a TFSA open, and of the ones that do, most have got cash or a term deposit in there, and the average balance is something like $3,200. And the average balance in an RRSP is something like $36,000 or something. It's really crazy. Most people aren't even putting any money into the RRSP or TFSA, or if they are, they're putting in very small amounts. And, you know, guys, the RRSP and TFSA, I've been maxing those out since I was in my late teens, since I've been working. So I've maxed them out all the way through my life. The RSP and TFSA fully maxed out for me are only going to provide about a quarter of what I'm going to need in retirement for me, for the retirement I want to build. 1/4, maybe less. So in other words, you can only shelter so much money. If you really want to build a really great retirement, travel and, you know, nice restaurants and you know, enjoy your retirement, most of that money is going to be in non-registered accounts. So if Canadians aren't even putting 10% of what they can into their registered accounts, we're in deep trouble here. So I should have a disclaimer scroll across here. You know, it's warning people that some people might want to tune out right now, because I'm going to give you guys some tough love here, like I like to do on my Saturday blogs here, because you need it. A lot of you have got massive success, my followers here, and a lot of my clients watch, and you guys are on the right track. This is just positive affirmation. But I've got a lot of people that are trying to learn, trying to get ahead, looking for answers. What do I do? How do I invest my money? And they're looking for some positive affirmation here, or some steps in the right direction. Other people, though, you know, they're watch my blog for whatever reason. I don't know why. They're glutton for punishment and just complain about everything I have to say. Real estate's going to crash. The stock market's rigged. Everything's rigged. Don't buy. It's nuts. But, you know, it's really going to come down to you need to have the fuel to create the fire. And it really comes down to your income. How much money you make every year. You can have the best advice doled out from me. You can read books by Warren Buffett and Jack Bogle on how to invest your money and index invest. But none of it's going to do you any good if you're making $30,000 a year and living in Vancouver, or 40 or 50. It's just not going to cut it anymore. So you have to start working that end of the equation. I'm going to talk about the FIRE movement here at the end as well. I haven't talked about it much lately. There's lots of things I love about the FIRE movement and then things I hate about it that are totally wrong. Mixture of the two. But here's the warning here. You might want to tune out some of you complainers that watch me, but I know you won't, because you guys, something about what I dole out all the time is gnawing at you. You know, deep down, this Bigland guy knows what he's talking about, because he's walked the walk and talked the talk for 35 years, and he's self-made multimillionaire and all that other stuff. And I tell you, it's nothing fancy. It's just going to take some hard work and then paying yourself first and investing that money in real estate and equities that will pay you to hold them and are tax advantaged. Grow tax-free. But here's the thing, you won't be able to do any of those unless you start getting the fuel, the income you're going to need. And I've done lots of blogs on creating multiple revenue streams, but it's going to start with your career, your main occupation. You know, for me, it's as a realtor, and it's taken me a long time to get to the level that I'm at, but, you know, I'm in the top quarter of 1% of income earners here in Canada based off my real estate job. But I've also got 6 or 7 other passive income flows. That didn't come overnight for me. But you guys have got to start working on this. This is kind of the key. And talking to one of my friends in New York, we kind of went full circle, and I said, Owen, it's the same thing in the States. They can give these people the best advice and how they should be doing things, but they, at the end of the day, they have to be in a career that is paying them. And whatever that is, it's going to be up to you guys. I've done lots of Saturday blogs. Sales is one of the greatest ways to get into those higher income brackets. But here's the disclosure. Before I go any further, some of you guys might want to leave, because here's the tough love part. To get into those higher income brackets and get into those careers that are going to pay you 100, 150, 200K, you're going to have to, it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to probably start working for yourself. You're going to have to go out on your own, start your own business, maybe start with a side hustle first until you can build that up, then quit your day job. But with that is going to come a lot of things. It's going to come with long hours. You're going to have to work 12, 13, 14, 15 hours. I know it sucks, but there's no shortcuts to this. That's what I worked in my first 10 years. Probably going to have to work weekends, especially if you're going to start the side hustle route. You're going to have to work your regular job 9 to 5. Don't quit your day job yet. And then at the evening hours and on the weekends, you're going to have to put in 20 hours a week starting your side hustle. It's going to come with some sleepless nights, a lot of unknowns. Where's my next paycheck coming from? Where's my income coming from next week to make the bills? It's going to come with a lot of stress. It's going to come with a lot of sacrifice. So for the first while, it's going to have to be, no Canucks games, no Lions games, no eating out. You're going to have to meal prep all your meals at home. I know that sucks too. But these are the things you guys are going to have to do. This is what I did. And I can tell you guys, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You make the sacrifices now, and the payoff can be more than you ever imagined if you really focus on it. What those careers and what direction you decide to go in is up to you. Find something you have a passion for, I've often said. Find something you have a deep belief in. Find something that you can get paid at. If your deep belief is writing poetry, probably not going to translate into very much income. I always have thrown out if you can become a high-level elite salesperson like I am, that can be a really good door to getting into the $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 price categories, income category. However, that one is to get into the elite level. You're probably going to have to do what I just said: the sleepless nights, the work ethic, and all the other stuff times two. Are you up for it? Because you're going to have to be up for it. You're going to have to do the mirror test. Go read Arnold's book. That'll be a good door opener for you. Listen to him on the Tim Ferriss podcast. That might get you motivated. Life is yours for the taking. It really is. And there is so much opportunity now there with technology and everything else. But that's what it's going to take, guys. Final thing I just want to close with, the FIRE movement, because I haven't talked about this. A lot of people ask me about the FIRE movement. I've done blogs in the past on the FIRE movement. So FIRE movement is financial independence, retire early. A lot of things, as I've said, that I like about the FIRE movement. I like the fact that they work hard. They save, they don't save, they invest and pay themselves first. Now, they, in some cases, pay themselves first an ungodly amount. Some of these guys that I see online are saving 40, 50, 60% of their income. Now, hey, if you can do it and you're okay with it, I've got nothing against that. So that's what they've got right. Paying themselves first, saving a lot, and they cut costs down to the bone. Some of these guys, one of these guys, he's moved to Thailand. Another guy that was on here recently, I saw an article on, he moved to some small town in Florida. His rent is $480 a month. Listen, hey, if you want to do those things to help cut your costs so you can save more power to you. Here's what I don't like about the FIRE movement, though. Most of these people I find are in jobs, 9-to-5 jobs, hourly wage jobs that they hate. They hate them. They hate their boss. They hate their work. That's the whole reason why they're in the FIRE movement. They're going to get revenge. I'm going to work this crappy job that I hate. I'm going to save 50% of my income. I'm going to live like a miser, because these jobs they have are not high-paying jobs for the most part. They're earning $40,000, $50,000, $55,000 a year, which is okay. And they're saving half of that. So, they're living like a miser on $20,000 a year. They're living in some bush league town. They're renting a small room or sharing a room in a house. They don't eat out. They don't take any vacations. They don't have a car. They ride a bike and all that other stuff. Now listen, again, if you're okay with that and that's you're fine with it, more power to you if you're okay with that. But this is what I would rather see you do. You can tweak this a little bit. Instead, why not instead of shrinking everything, why not grow? Start finding ways to get multiple revenue streams and moving up the pay scale. Get a better career. Get into a high-level sales job. Instead of shrinking, instead of making $40,000 a year, why isn't the goal making $100,000 or $150,000 a year? Now you can set aside $30,000 or $40,000 and you still got $100,000 to live on, and you're not living like Ebenezer Scrooge. Because here's the thing that scares me with some of these people. I've always told you guys, take regular breaks, enjoy the ride. You have to have that. I did throughout my entire career. I always took a couple of nice vacations, and I was didn't feel bad about doing it. When you're in your 20s and 30s and even your early 40s, you should be enjoying your life. This is your magical time, your youth. I saw a guy on the fire movement, he was making fun of the fact that my 5 friends wanted to rent a villa in Ibiza this summer for 10 days. And it was going to cost me, because Ibiza is expensive. I've been there many times and it's fantastic. It was going to cost him $5,000 for him and 7 buddies to fly out and rent this villa, plus of course the club costs and the drinks and everything else. It's not a cheap trip. It was a dream trip. But I told them no. These guys are going to waste their money in Ibiza, and I'm going to save that $5,000 and invest it, and it's just going to give me a little bit closer to my goal. I don't know. I think it was a mistake. He should have gone with his buddies, treated himself to a trip, enjoyed his life when he's young and has the time to enjoy it. It's like that old, stories you hear about people on their deathbed in their 80s and 90s. When they ask, do you have any regrets in life? You think they ever say, I regretted I didn't work more hours? It's things like, I wish I would have taken that trip with my buddies to Ibiza. Now listen, I've been on a sidetrack. I went to Ibiza every summer from 1999 through 2007. I had a good friend, I'm into house music, electronic music, not EDM, who rented a villa, and I loved going out to Ibiza every summer for about 7 years, and I just revisited Ibiza even at my old age. I went last summer. I went to Berlin for 4 days, and I revisited Ibiza for another week and had a blast. Did I regret taking 10 days off from work back in 10, 15 years ago, taking 2 weeks off? No. My clients were still there when I got back. The houses were still there to sell and everything else. I got a nice break, had some great memories with my friends. I was recharged and ready to get back to work again. That's one of the problems with the fire movement. You live like a miser in your prime years. You shrink everything. You're not earning very much money to begin with. You should be growing that. And then the goal is to retire at age 38 or 40. Well, then what are you going to do? You're 40 and you've got $700,000 to retire on. Well, you can do it in these hick backwater towns, but you're not going to be doing anything again. You're going to be watching Netflix, riding your bike, and eating pork and beans all day. What kind of retirement is that? I know they'll say, well, it's got all the free time. Yeah, sure, it might have a little better than when you're working time, but it doesn't sound very appealing to me. So that's where the fire movement gets it wrong. Don't shrink yourself. They get it right where they pay themselves first and get that money invested, and most of them put it into high quality dividend growth funds. Good quality stock that pay them a dividend and keep that increasing. That's good. But they get it wrong where they stay in these 9-to-5 jobs, not making a whole lot of money, living a life, not a very good life at all, wasting their prime youth and their prime time, in my opinion, to retire at 40 and then do what on the measly $700,000 or $800,000 you've saved. Listen, if whatever makes you happy, finally. I don't want to discount it or make fun of it that bad. If that makes you happy and that's a good lifestyle for you and you want to retire at 40 and not have a whole lot of life experiences, as long as it makes you happy. But I think you can tweak that and make that so much better. Expand yourself, get better, try and make more money every year. That's what I did since I'm a teenager. Once I got started in real estate, my goal was always to get a little better and make a little more money, which I did. My average sale price kept going up. Those are the metrics you want to follow. And now you're really supercharging it. Now you're making more money, you're banking and investing way more money, and then you've got some money to take a 10-day trip to Ibiza with your friends, or take a week off and go down to California. Buy yourself a new pair of shoes, a nice pair of shoes. Treat your wife or your girlfriend or your partner to a nice steak dinner. You got to enjoy your life. And that's where the FIRE movement makes zero sense to me, for the most part. Some of these guys have got it both going, but most of them are in jobs they hate. I still work as a realtor. I don't have to. I could have retired 10 years ago. But I still love and have a passion for what I do. It gets me up in the morning. It keeps me active. It keeps my brain going. I love the satisfaction of helping my clients find a home, buy an investment property, sell their home for a good price that they're happy with, move up, move down, downsize. I get up for it. Now, eventually over the next few years, I'm going to slowly start slowing it down a little bit. I'm building a team here, and I've got associates that I start handing more and more stuff off to. But I don't see myself fully retiring for quite a while yet, because I still enjoy it and I take regular breaks. As I speak right now, I'm packing my bags here after I finish this, and I'm heading down to Cabo San Lucas for a quick 6-day trip. Short trip, because I'm busy. We're in the fall market here. But these are the kind of things that I do just to keep my battery recharged. And then I'll work hard for 6 weeks, real hard, and then mid-December, I'll be back off again for another 2.5 weeks. So this is what you want to do. Enjoy your life, especially when you're in your 20s, 30s. These are prime time for you guys. Go to the Ibiza. You'll have a blast in Ibiza, especially if you like electronic house music, techno music. Meet some girls, meet some guys, whatever you want. The sun, the weather. Sure, it's expensive, but you'll have memories for life and you'll never forget those. When I went to Ibiza this past summer as an old guy, I still had a fantastic time. But I don't have the energy, and nor did I want to even get into the energy of what I needed when I was in my 20s and early 30s going to Ibiza. Do it while you've got the chance. Don't shrink yourself. Grow, try and get better, and don't be afraid to take breaks and spend a little money on yourself. See you guys next week.